In this video, we'll be diving into the gameplay of the top 0.1% of players, the best of the best. These players are insanely skilled, all of whom are a part of my server's tiering system. Every player I'm analyzing are master rank and above, ranking from the top 700 all the way to the very peak, top 1 global. We'll be seeing how these players secure their victories and the advanced fighting tactics they use to win their fights. After doing an instant twisted, Chrono didn't immediately dash since he couldn't connect his M1 without having the chance of getting parried or punished. So instead, he waited for his opponent to M1. The M1 animation stun locks his opponent for a split second, allowing Chrono to side dash. Since he couldn't hit his opponent in time before they escaped the twisted, he decided to take advantage of the flowing waters range, allowing him to extend the dash even at a distance where he couldn't M1 his opponent. This is a perfect M1 bait. Right after Chrono hooked, dashed, and hit his opponent's block, they unblocked and tried to M1 Chrono. The opponent missed his M1, causing Chrono to take advantage by backdash canceling. This is what I call pre-dashing. It's where you side dash and M1 the general area where you think your opponent is going to side dash to. It's basically an M1 catch, but harder to punish. Do you want to learn this twisted tech? If yes, I'll teach you. After 3 M1s, you hold S and use your 4th M1. While your 4th M1 is still processing, you immediately micro-flick your front dash to the right and back forward. The reason why this works is because when you flick to the right, you've used a portion of the front dash. This causes the front dash to end quicker. Don't face 180 degrees backwards and do the flick. It makes the dash end way too early. Always hold S when executing the final M1, or this will happen. Pretty interesting tactic Chrono did. He basically jumped over his opponent while they were holding block and hit them from behind. Pretty cool trick that counters M1 punishing. This is another trick that can easily catch your opponents off guard. Chrono made it seem like he was doing his M1s for a down slam, but after the second M1, he immediately went for a hunter's grasp. Those are all the current clips I'm analyzing for Chrono. He also has a YouTube channel that makes montages. The link will be in the description if you want to check that out. Anyways, on to the next player. This is probably the cleanest block sequence I have ever seen. RJ took advantage of your block holding by using a block-breaking move. To do the tech RJ just did, you have to side dash, jump, and use Hunter's Grasp all at the same time. This tech is heavily ping-based and can only work if your ping is low enough or if your opponent's ping is high enough. Did you know that there's an actual meaning behind flicking when normal punching? When you flick after a normal punch, it prevents your opponent from landing on the normal punch's rocks, which sometimes negates impact damage. Try to avoid using your third M1 when you're not comboing your opponent, since after your third M1, the fourth M1 stuns you, not allowing you to move for a brief moment. You will either have to backdash to safety to wait for your M1 cooldown to reset, or land the fourth M1. This is extremely risky, so it's best to just use the first two M1s. Instead of side dashing right after you backdash, I would instead wait for my opponent to dash towards me instead. I would then block and do a counter dash. I waited for too long and I still haven't received gameplay footage for the last few players, so I'm just going to fight. In this footage, I am fighting the best player of all time. His name is Sigma, and he is real top 1 global. When I was recording this, my hands were shaking and my legs were quivering just from his mere aura. When I did a left hook dash and hit him, I knew he was going to hold block after the stun. When he's holding block, It allows me to use a guard-breaking move like Shove to get an easy combo. Let me break this sequence down for you. Sigma is currently running towards me, and I am also running towards him. When I get 3 blocks close to him, I execute my side dash and catch him. If you want to know how I use the block distance to my advantage, I'll tell you. A side dash's range is about 3 blocks, and when people are in the perfect range for a side dash, they usually go for it. Hence why when you're 3 blocks apart from your opponent, they will most likely go for a side dash. This tactic only works if you and your opponent are approaching each other. This is an extremely underrated fighting tactic that rarely anyone talks about. It's where you side dash towards your opponent and bait them into unblocking or using M1. After they unblock or M1, you can take advantage of their stun by immediately front dashing. This is one way I counter block holding. I walk up close to my opponent, use backdash, which baits their M1, and roll back in and punish them. The timing is a little off, but you can see how I bait my opponent's M1, allowing me to safely front dash. You have to do this extremely quickly. If you aren't quick enough, their M1 stun will wear off and they would be able to block your front dash. Sigma could have blocked my front dash, but he just wasn't expecting it. I ragdoll cancel at the end of the uppercut and hold block to counter his front dash. If you want to know how Sigma did this, you basically hold M1 when you're spiraling up, and sometimes you can hit your opponent. I'm not too sure on how this works, but I know for a fact it's mostly luck-based. If you don't have Ragdoll Cancel, you should try doing this. After all, having a chance for it to work is better than no chance at all. This is a super easy way on how you can punish Ragdoll Cancels. All you need to do is front dash, and at the end of your front dash, you turn back, which makes you hit your opponent while they're ragdolling. That's all for today's video. If you find anything that I taught you help you in your fights, consider supporting me by dropping a subscription and a like. It's greatly appreciated. Anyways, I'll see you in the next video.